Please welcome Jeff Porro. Jeff!
So I'm about to say something that you're not going to hear from anybody else on this stage tonight. I turned 70 this year. And when I hit the big 7-0, I realized that when you're 20, 30, or even 40, you don't have a frickin' clue what it's like to be old. So I'm going to do the public service and tell you what you've got to look forward to. So first of all, guys, I've got some bad news. When you approach 70, you become totally invisible to women in their 20s and 30s. And I'm not talking the good kind of invisible. You can't go wandering around Victoria's Secrets, changing rooms, but you're like stealth bomber invisible, totally off the radar screen. And where it comes up is in flirting. Chris talked about flirting, and yeah, we all love to flirt. I'm not very good at it, but I've always liked it. Now, when I was in my 20s, if I was at a party or I was at a bar and I saw an attractive woman, you know, I would go up to her and I would say, remember, this is 1960s, so I would say, "Your aura is amazing. I had to come over here and talk to you." And if I was lucky, she would say something like, "Far out. You must be a Capricorn." All right, so now when I meet a 20-something, and I try that same line, you met aura, blah blah blah. If I'm really lucky, she'll say something like, "Does that mean you don't want to hear the dinner specials?" And if I'm not lucky, she calls the manager. Now, the other thing about getting old is bodily functions. And I'll only say, don't worry, I won't take you behind the bathroom door, but I will say this. We are given 5 minutes up here as part of this graduation exercise, and I think most of the comics would love to have more time. But if I had to be up here for 8 or 9 minutes, I'd probably have to leave the stage twice to use the men's room. Another thing that's very different is the way that men talk about women's bodies, okay? Now, in my 20s, the conversation would kind of go like this. "Guys, I went to this amazing party on Saturday night, and I met this bitchin' woman." Details, dude, details. This chick, she had legs that just kept going and going. She had this truly cosmic ass. It was like Tina Turner territory. What were her tits like? Did I tell you she had a cosmic ass? What were her tits like? Okay, they weren't great, but she was beautiful. Now, I have to say, I'm very ashamed of myself that I use that kind of language. It was 50 years ago. I've changed completely. I would never use it again. And I'm sure that 20-something guys these days never talk about women like that. But today, if that conversation happens, it goes like this. "Hey, gents, I went swing dancing on Sunday night. I met a very, very interesting woman." Details. The knee. She'd had a knee replacement and it didn't hurt at all. I asked her for her doctor's name. It was great. The ankle. She had this brace. It was maybe this big and it was perfect. And I'm going to go to CVS and get one. What about her lower back? All right. The lower back was sore, but I gave her some ibuprofen that I was carrying. She was fine. But I don't want to give the impression that everything about growing old is embarrassing or difficult. There's a lot of wonderful, wonderful things about being older, but most of them just ain't that funny. But I will say one thing that's a really unexpected. Sex. When I was 20, I didn't even think people in their 70s had sex, and if they did, I probably thought it was pretty disgusting. But I've got to tell you, sex in old age is fantastic. It's wonderful in ways. wonderful in ways young people can't even dream about. There's so many fantastic details that I would love to share with you, but my teenage daughter is in the audience. And if I gave you 45 seconds more of comedy, it would probably cost me $65,000 in therapy bills. Plus, I actually have to go pee now, so thank you very much.
Chef Porro! Are you guys okay over there? I don't know where Jeff's family is. Jeff Porro.